Good morning, everybody. This is now until I get abs, day 121. I woke up this morning at 227 even. Yesterday I was 226.8. Today I'm 227. So I guess I got a little bit more water, holding on a little bit more fluid than I did yesterday, but still that was a 6-pound drop from Sunday to Monday. Well, from Monday to Monday. And then on top of that too, I'm still down a little over 2 pounds from last Tuesday to this Tuesday. I'm down 2 pounds. So I'm still going in the right direction, most definitely. That was just a big drop in weight from Monday to Monday. Normally, after Sundays, I hold quite a bit of weight, at least until Monday night, Tuesday morning. But this time it fell so fast. And I know why. I was just so busy and doing so much stuff over the weekend. It's cold this morning. I'm bundled up. I'm about to eat my breakfast, get my coffee, and then head to work. I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest. The last 3 days kind of really wore me out, and then my shoulder's really bugging me. My right shoulder's kind of really bothering me quite a bit, and I got my range of motion back kind of without it hurting. Did a lot of deep tissue work under my arm, around my shoulder blade, the front of my shoulder, just all the way around. Did a bunch of stretching, did a bunch of tissue work, deep tissue, massage gun, all that stuff. My wife rubbed out my traps. Did as much as I could. Did it twice yesterday. I was putting up that carport. Man, I really did a number on myself. Did traction on my neck, stretched my vertebrae, popped a couple times. So I'm hoping that I just have muscle soreness and aggravation from it being like irritated yesterday from the original So I'm just going to see how it goes throughout the day and how it feels, because I'm supposed to train my shoulders tonight. And if it's bothering me or hurting me, I'm going to be very limited on what I can do in the gym. I'm still going to train my shoulders. I'm just going to be very cautious on what I do, and I'm going to make sure whatever I do doesn't cause any discomfort or pain, because the last thing I'm trying to do is get injured or hurt. And I'm going to do my best. Okay, I'm going to eat. My food should be cool enough now where I can eat and be on my walk. That is a sunrise. Beautiful. All the pinks, blues, grays, orange. That is really pretty. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, I'm down 2 pounds this Tuesday from last Tuesday, but there's a huge drop from Monday to Monday. That's just because of circumstances of what was going on and what I had doing. I haven't really had any rest at all. But all the same, no stopping, no slowing down, no end date. The end date is the results whenever I hit my goal of having my abs completely 100% out and defined. There is no slowing down. Twice a day, 2-day cardios, 7 days a week training. Fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. People will say you need a day off. Day offs are your growth days, and yada blah yada blah blah. Well, I train every body part once a week, so I don't need 2 days off from the gym and pack more exercises in the same day. I feel it's more efficient to split them up further. You can train everything you want twice a week. Some people train everything 3 times a week. And hey, you know what? I think that's great. I think that's awesome. And I think you should try it if you've never done it before. It might work for you. But me personally, I don't understand why I need a day off from the gym if I train my back on Monday and then I go a whole 7 days before I train my back again. I train my biceps on Wednesdays. I don't know why I need to take a day off for my biceps to train other body parts. I trained my biceps, so I need to take a day off so they can grow. Well, I did. I took 6 more days off for my biceps from training them. I trained other things. Biceps get hit twice a week. Mondays on back night indirectly, and then Wednesdays for direct arm training. Why do I need to take a day off for them to rest? My calves, I train my calves on Sundays. That's it. Why do I need to take a day off? Why can't I train my calves? Why can't I train my abs? I separate my muscles into into smaller groups, back only, and then shoulders, and then biceps, triceps, and then chest, and then legs, quads and hamstrings, and then abs, and then calves. So I split my body up into 7 days. So I just don't see why training my calves on Sunday and my abs on Saturday would prevent me from growing and making results. I don't see why training my shoulders on Tuesday will prevent my legs from growing on Friday. I don't see why training my chest on Thursday would prevent my back from being rested on Monday. I don't see the logic behind it. I really don't. If you're powerlifting and you're beating the snot out of yourself and you're physically exhausted and tired, you need a day off. You need to rest. But if you're doing some fluff and puff training and you're doing hypertrophy, volume, and you're doing intensity with bodybuilding, which intensity with bodybuilding is like sets of 8 to 15, just pushing slower and harder, squeezing, contracting. That's not the same as lifting 600 pounds for a 1 rep max or doing 365 on the bench for a 3 rep max. That's going to hit you harder. That's going to wear you out more. That's going to require you to need legitimate days off because your body is going to feel like you got hit by a train. It's going to be beaten up. But doing sets of 8 to 12, 8 to 15 sets per body part once a week, if you can't recover from that in 7 days to retrain it without having a whole day off from the gym, how would you have ever survived back in the day when there was no days off? There was no insurance. There was no holiday pay. There was no vacations. You literally worked your land 7 days a week and you didn't get breaks. You just worked. As long as there was sunlight, you worked. I mean, you wouldn't survive. Those people didn't wither away and turn into nothing. And they didn't eat the same calories that we ate. And they didn't have the same knowledge that we had. But they didn't die. And they didn't wither away to nothing. They adapted, their bodies got conditioned, and they were able to keep going. Same thing for this. If you train your biceps on a Tuesday, there's absolutely zero reason why you need a day off to train your quads 4 days later. And if you separate your muscle groups, big muscle, little muscle, little muscle, big muscle, little muscle, little muscle, little muscle, you'll be fine. Separating big muscles, following by small muscles. If you train your small muscles and then go into a big muscle, then you got to put small muscles after that. A lot of people, I'm going to say a lot of people. Let me rephrase this. If I was to take a day off, I would train a small muscle like arms, followed by a big muscle like back, and then take a day off. And then I would do like shoulders, and then chest, and then legs, and then take a day off. I would take a day off after my back day and my leg day because those are the bigger muscles that hit you the hardest. But instead of doing that, I just put a small muscle after my big muscles. That way it doesn't take a lot of effort to train. I still train hard, but it doesn't take as much out of me. Like after back night, it's shoulder night. Shoulder's a small muscle. The only thing you can really lift heavy on shoulders is shoulder press. That's it. And how much is that going to take out of you? It's not going to take out that much. Not enough to where you need a whole day off in between back and shoulders. So 7 days a week, twice a day on cardio. No slowing down until I get my results. Now granted, my shoulder's bugging me. And it's not because of not taking days off or resting. It's because of other things outside the gym that I have going on in my life that are very physically demanding jobs and tasks that I have to do. And I tweaked my shoulder. It happens. This is also another reason why I work out, because I'm very physically active. I have a lot of hobbies that require a lot of physical strength and a lot of physical endurance outside of just working out. I don't work out just to work out to say, hey, I work out. I work out to be in physical shape, to do all the other things I like to do in my life and not be held back by conditioning or physical attributes like strength. being strong always makes everything else easier. It's just the way it is. I'm gonna finish my walk. It's getting close to time for me to go inside and work. So I will see you guys in a little bit. It's that time of day again. Guess what meal it is? All right, time's up. Bam! Bell peppers and chicken. Halfway through the day, got one more meal after this before my workout. And hey, I'm gonna tell you this much. My shoulder is feeling tremendously better. So I have a golf ball I keep up here at work in a grocery bag. So whenever I start feeling knotted, I could take the golf ball, throw it over my back, lean against the wall, and just kind of like roll it out to find stiff areas. So I did that this morning after I got done walking. Spent about maybe 5 minutes rolling out my shoulder, and what happened was it hurt way worse when I was done. It felt a lot better when I was doing it, but then it felt extremely painful. But as I started working and picking up chain falls and come-alongs and pulling chain and lifting these heavy boxes and kind of getting them up to head level and hooking them, then pulling the chain, then unhooking them, then sewing the chain and picking the chain and doing all that repetitively for the last couple hours, it feels better. My shoulder feels significantly better. There's still a pinch and there's still a little bit of discomfort when I come up so high, but it feels significantly better. So I'm going to just keep on moving it throughout the day while I work, because obviously I have no choice. I kind of have to, because I have to use my arms and shoulders throughout the day as I work. If not, then I can't work. And that's not going to work out because I have to make money, right? So anyways, I'm just going to keep going the way the day's going. See how it feels this evening when the time comes to get in the gym to work out, because of, well, ultimately, I want to have a good workout and I want to push myself, but I don't want to get hurt. So I'm just going to play it by ear. And if I have to back off, like I've been saying a little bit, I'll back off a little bit. It's not a big issue. As long as I can get in there and do something that's pain-free, it's better than nothing. I'm going to do what I can and not focus on what I can't, and stay happy at the fact that I'm at least in there, still pushing forward to my goal, not making excuses or not making up any reasons why I can't be in there training. I'm going to go ahead and eat now and get this delicious meal inside my belly. Now it is that time for my chicken and rice, favorite meal of the day. I'm going to get this in. Already took my animal cuts, got my coffee making at this moment. So I'm going to heat this up. Hopefully it heats me up because it is cold today. It's been cold all day. Curious to see how it goes tonight with my shoulder, just because like all day long it's kind of off and on. Feels better, feels tight, feels better, feels tight, feels better, feels tight. So it's just kind of like back and forth. So I'm really just going to be very cautious tonight with training my shoulder. I want to make sure that I don't do anything that's going to disrupt its healing. But you know, for the last 2 weeks I've been having impingement in it, and I'm pretty sure it's a mobility issue. But because doing the overhead barbell lateral raises is whenever I started having a little bit of an issue. But regardless if I was doing those or not, this right here would have happened from what I had to do over the weekend and how I was lifting up some of that stuff. It just got the better part of me. So I'm gonna have to work on strengthening up the area, because this is definitely a spot that I don't want to be a weak area. Like I don't need to be like strongman strong, but I want to be strong enough where if I have to put something over my head, I can put something over my head without messing up my shoulder for 2 to 3 weeks. So I just got to figure it out and just keep at it. I'm gonna go ahead and let this finish heating up, get this meal down, get on the road, and get in the gym. Well, if I said I was excited to be in here, I'd be lying through my teeth. I'm actually not excited. I'm actually kind of dreading this because I'm not sure what's going to happen with my shoulder. I've had mixed emotions all day about this. It's just very frustrating knowing that I have a goal and other things in my life that come up can affect my training from getting hurt. And it's like, I didn't even get hurt in the gym. I got hurt outside the gym, which sucks even more, because now it's like, this is going to affect my training and I don't know how far this is going to put me back. So I'm just kind of like really emotionally upset right now. I've been going back and forth like, oh, just be happy that you can at least do something, you know, do what you can do and don't stress it. But then it's like, I don't want to do what I can do. I want to push as hard as I can push, but I can't push as hard as I can push whenever I have something going on my shoulder. So it's just mixed emotions. So I'm just gonna do what I can do. I started with the 15s. I did a set of 20 and then the 20s, 25s. So I'm gonna do my fourth set with the 30s. Just slow and controlled, no drop sets, no rest pause, nothing crazy like that. I'm just getting a feel for it. So far, it feels fine. I haven't felt it, hasn't bothered me, hasn't hurt me, but knowing that there's something there, I am not going to push it either. I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause any type of aggravating. Main focus on tonight is getting a full range of motion that's pain-free to promote blood flow into the area and to not further aggravate it. So if I feel it in any way in a negative way, I'm going to stop that movement and find something else to do. I just really want a full range of motion that's pain-free to promote as much blood in the area as I can. A lot of people don't realize, but the number one driving force for recovery is blood flow. The more blood you could push into an area, the more frequently and the more aggressively you could get blood into something, the faster it's going to repair, the faster it's going to recover. Sitting on it, not moving it, isolating in a way that you never have any blood in there or additional blood flow, it's going to take forever to heal. So if you can only move it like this without hurting, then you move it like this as much as you can, because that little bit of movement is going to get more blood in that area, which is going to help increase the recovery. So the worst thing you could do is let scar tissue build up and lose range of motion and then become inhibited on what you can do. See, it feels fine right now, but again, I'm not going to push nothing crazy, just full range of motion. I'm not going to take it nowhere near to failure either. I'll call it on 10. I figured that. That's a good set given the circumstances. I don't think I could do front laterals. I'm gonna use a dumbbell instead of a barbell. I'm gonna see if I can even get that plane of motion without pain. And if I can, I'll probably go through it. If I can't, then definitely not gonna do it. Absolutely zero chance of doing any front overhead laterals, but I did a compromise. This is my fourth set here with the 5s because this gets me a full range of motion, and I can go all the way 180 degrees on this, and I get zero pain in my shoulder, but I feel this 100% through my shoulder, and I can feel my scapulas moving through the full range of motion that they can do in a 180 degree plane. So whatever is in the back of my shoulder, my scapula, the front of my shoulder, this right here is definitely getting a lot of movement in there. So it's going to be super beneficial, this range of motion. And in fact, I might actually stop doing the front overhead laterals and just switch to these. Can't go heavy on these by no means, but could probably work up to the 12s or 15s and then maybe do some drop sets whenever my shoulder heals up all the way. And maybe I'll go with these because there's a high probability that doing that front overhead lateral raise is the main cause of what happened to my shoulder, and I may not just be able to move in that plane of motion anymore since my surgery, because it's the side that I had my surgery on that I always feel in it. Plus, I feel this in my back exactly where I feel doing the front overhead laterals, and that's what I'm trying to target. Like, Today isn't just about shoulders, it's about shoulders and traps. I want to work out my traps all the way down between my shoulder blades, up to my neck, and then across my shoulders. I want to work out the whole area thing. My back night isn't for traps, it's for lats. I need more development on my traps because they are very weak and behind. So tonight, I like to pick movements that hit both shoulders and traps. My front delts get hit with chest movements. My rear delts get hit with back movements. My traps get hit with my lat movements. But tonight is really for side laterals, traps, and shoulders. I don't even know how many that is, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it on this one. But those sure do feel good. Those feel amazing. So now I'm going to try to do some side laterals and see if I can't get some range of motion and blood flow in there. So far, so good. No issues or pain in the shoulder. I think in about a week or two, I should be back to 100%. I don't think I'm going to be doing the front barbell overhead laterals no more. I think that's what's aggravating it too much, which allowed me to actually get hurt whenever I was putting up the carport. So doing the hands forward laterals does not bother me or affect me, but I feel it aggressively in the area I want to feel it in, just like the reason why I was doing those to begin with. So if I can avoid being hurt but still get the same like targeted area just as aggressively, but with a lighter weight and a better range of motion for my joint, because it's only the shoulder that I had surgery on that is affected by doing those. So I'm thinking there's something related there, and the reason being, so I'm just not going to do those. Granted, I have gone really light tonight. I haven't pushed with drop sets or rest pause, and I'm just going through the range of motion, trying to like really target the muscle without squeezing it aggressively. But all the same, you know, it's just what it is, and I'm actually feeling a lot better. I'm a lot happier about the way tonight's going. I've kind of been in my head all day about it, and now I'm just feeling like, okay, you know what? This is okay. It is just impingement. It's just a little bump in the road. Give me a week or two, and I'll be back to the full swing of things, changing up something slightly different, but same targeted area. Should be good to go. And that's how I'm going to approach this. And as you can tell, I'm talking while I'm doing my set because I'm not counting, because this weight is fairly light and I'm not trying to go to failure, and I'm not trying to push really hard. All I'm trying to do is get as much blood into that shoulder as I possibly can using a big range of motion that's pain-free, so I could pump that blood in there and loosen up everything with blood, because it's going to hydrate. It's going to help everything slide and glide. It's going to get everything moving correctly. And more importantly, it's giving me a pump. And I'm not going to go to failure tonight either, at all. Not trying to. Don't want to go to failure tonight. Well, I do, but I'm not going to, just due to the fact that I'm not trying to push the shoulder to tear it down, to grow. I'm just trying to get it to move without pain. Looks like I'm going to be taking a break from the reverse cables, because I just tried doing them and it lit up the front of my delt. So even though I'm pulling back, it lit up the whole entire front of my delt real bad, and that hurt. I did it with the 10s. I did 1 rep. I felt uncomfortable. Did a 2nd rep, and it was just super freaking aggravated. So now I'm kind of wondering if it's been those and not the front overheads, because if those have been what's bothering my shoulder and not the front overhead laterals, it's just I was affiliating the overhead laterals with those. I'm probably going to stop doing those, and I'm going to go back to a pec deck, because I just did 3 sets of pec deck, and this feels like heaven on the rear delts and the center traps, because instead of grabbing up high, I'm grabbing down low like this. And since I'm grabbing low on the handles, it's hitting the rear delt, but also right between the shoulder blades, the traps between the shoulder blades. So I'm trying to hit all that area in one movement, and that's what I would use these for in the front overhead laterals with the barbell. But if I could put the front overhead laterals back in once this heals up and not do these, but switch out to the pec deck, that might be better development, because the whole concept, like I said tonight, I'm trying to build the front delts, the side delts, the rear delts, and have the traps tie in. Because between the shoulder blades, coming up the shoulder blades to the shoulders, back to the spine and up the neck, that area is really weak on me. So whenever I do a rear double bicep, or I do my lat spread, right between my shoulder blades where my shoulders tie in to my traps, it like disappears. It's like existent. It just disappears. It goes flat. I go really flat on my back right there. I just don't have that thickness to my middle back. And doing my back training, I'm focusing more on my lats and focusing more on that width. So if I can work on my traps, which is engagement of the shoulders as well, I know it's engagement of the back too, but I feel like training my traps with shoulders is more productive than training my traps with back. I feel like I can engage the rear delt and the trap evenly, just like doing the overheads and these. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. Once this heals up enough and I could go back to doing those front overheads, because to be honest, this never bothered me at all doing them. It was always the day after or so. But every now and then doing these, I could feel the shoulder, but it wasn't painful, but I could kind of feel like there was a little out of place. So I'd move my shoulders and my elbows around to get a better pull, and then I wouldn't feel it no more. But then sure enough, the next day or two, my shoulders were lit up. So I'm wondering if that's been my issue this whole time, because I've been going heavier and heavier and pushing them harder and harder. So maybe it's time to change those out and keep with the front overhead laterals, because I really like doing those with a barbell. It just hits the traps and the delts so freaking amazing. All right. Because right here, it's all delts, and right between my shoulder blades, right where I'm flat, it's like I have nothing back there. And if I push my shoulders forward like this, right, that's just more delt, but I don't want all delt. I want to bring the traps in. So I'm squeezing with this. I'm trying to squeeze and pinch those shoulders together, like the shoulder blades, and I'm trying to engage everything back there together. Just like I would be flexing for a rear double bicep, you know. And then I can hit these with a superset, and I could come up here and grab them higher, or I can even grab them with a neutral grip like this. And then this is 100% rear delt right here. This isn't any of the traps. This is all rear delts, 100% rear delt. But if I come down here like this, I get best of both worlds. So I'm gonna call it on that. That's gonna be it for shoulders tonight. Nothing hurt me. The only thing that bothered me is I tried using the 5s and doing front, and I felt it too much in my shoulder, and then doing the cables. So those two definitely lit me up. And I don't think it's those front overhead laterals, because I move my hands on that barbell in a position that feel comfortable, where I don't feel that impingement. I don't even feel anything in my shoulder when I'm doing them. That's the kicker, right? It feels good the whole time I'm doing them. But sometimes doing the cables, I would feel a little something, but it wasn't anything notable to be concerned about, like, oh, this is causing me an issue. And it just so happened to be, I started doing these I started doing the fronts and then the JM press at the same time. And doing that JM press, coming like this, I was wondering, like, man, I wonder if this right here is what's causing that front delt to get tore up. So I don't think I'm gonna be doing those tomorrow either, just to be on the safe side. I like those JM press because I feel it in my triceps, and I feel like they really help develop the back of the tricep, like dramatically. But if it's gonna come at the cost of my shoulder, not that I ever felt it, but really that's really close to like a bench press movement, right? And I can't bench no more. This is my torn pec with surgery. So if that is too much of like a bench, and that's stressing that front delt, and where my incision is where I tore, I don't want to cause any issues. So I might just have to go back to cables or something like that, or I mean something else, and just figure out a different approach to hit it the way I want to hit it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll get creative with it. I'll figure out a way around it. But this week right now is just really honestly about preventing any further injury, just healing up. So next week I could get back to 100%. If next week, if I can, I'm not going to do the rear cables. I'll do the pec deck I'll switch to the barbell. I'll see how the barbell feels the next day or two if I don't have any issues. And if it feels great, I'll continue that, and I'll just switch those for these. And then if I don't have any issue with the shoulder, then the following, so this week I'll probably skip JM press. Next week, if I don't have any issues with the shoulder, I'll add JM press back. Well, actually, I'll skip it this week. I'll add the front laterals back in next week if I'm feeling 100. And then I won't do the JM press to see if it's those that's causing my issue. And then the following week, I'll add JM press back, and then I'll see if the next day or two, if my shoulder's lit up. Then it's like, okay, maybe it was the JM press and it wasn't these, because like I said, I added the front laterals and the JM press in the same week. So it has to be one or the other, and I'm gonna figure out which one it is. So it's either the reverse cables, it's the front barbell laterals, or the JM press. Time for process of elimination once I get this healed up enough to go back to it, because I like those movements. It's just I don't like hurting, so I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm not gonna be posing tonight, guys. I just don't really honestly feel like it. So I'm gonna go do my cardio now. I don't know if I'm gonna start posing again every night, or if I'm just gonna pose maybe once or twice a week, or maybe once a week. I don't know. I'm gonna see how I feel. I think posing every night kind of gets a little redundant, especially because you can't really see any difference one week to another. But I guess picking one night a week to pose, to have a reference from week to week to week to week to week as they go on, to kind of see the progress slowly building up, wouldn't be such a bad thing. But trying to do it every day, I mean, I don't mind posing every single day, but at the same time, it's like it gets a little discouraging whenever some days your pumps are better than others, and other days your pumps are terrible. And to be honest, yesterday it was cold, didn't feel like being shirtless in the gym. It was so freaking cold. And then today it's not too bad, but with my shoulder hurting the way it was, I don't feel like I had a very good workout, at least good enough to take my shirt off to try to peacock around and flex and pose. I just don't feel like it would have been much to look at. And the last thing I want to do is be even more disappointed with myself after getting hurt yesterday and then feeling discouraged all day today. Throughout the whole entire day, I have just been bummed out. I'm not gonna lie, like it's been really affected me mentally. I've been trying to be positive about it, but it's very difficult to be whenever you're pushing for a goal and then something happens, and it could be like, okay, is this a setback? And if it is, for how long? And then how bad is the outcome gonna be of the setback? So, but hopefully things just move along and heal up, and it's just a minor like strain, and I'll be back 100%, like I was saying earlier, within a week or two, and I could keep going from there. Just got to be a little mindful. I'm not 18 no more. I'm 38, about to be 39. So things can they can sneak up on you. But it was just I wanted to get that carport up, and I heaved it up to get it stood up, and when I did, I felt that in my shoulder, and just that little but it wasn't like a tear. I know what a tear feels like, and I know what a pop and a tear feels like, and it wasn't that. It just felt like a strain, something minor. But still, when you feel sharp pains all day long when you move your arm and your shoulder, it can't help but kind of creep into your mind and be like, man, what if this is worse than what I thought? What if I tore my labrum? What if I tore my tendon or my ligament? Or what if this is something that's going to have to take months to heal up? But fortunately, I don't think that's the case. I'm going to go ahead and finish my walk. I'm going to go ahead and put this down now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.